So I'm going to do a couple examples of multiplying polynomials, and we're going to start off with a couple really easy ones. This is a monomial multiplied by a binomial, okay? And like I said, this should be very easy because this is just an exercise in the distributive property. As long as you understand your exponent rules and you can watch your signs, this should be nothing to it. So we are going to distribute 2x into both terms in there. So 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 7 is negative 14x. So it doesn't really matter how many terms there are, you're still going to distribute the monomial outside of the parentheses to every single term inside the parentheses. Just make sure you're watching your signs, pay attention to your exponents, and it should be pretty easy. So we're going to distribute. Again, every single term needs hit by this negative 6x cubed. So then you're going to get negative 24x to the fifth minus 6x to the fourth plus 12x cubed. For the next example, same idea. Should be pretty easy by this point. Again, watch your signs. 4x squared times 8x to the fourth is 32x to the sixth. 4x squared times negative 3x to the cube is negative 12x to the fifth. And we have plus 4x to the fourth minus 8x cubed minus 16x squared. I'm going to move on to multiplying two binomials together, and these are the ones that you're going to see most often, and usually people tell you to FOIL with these, and the FOIL just refers to a way to remember that you basically have to distribute every term in the first polynomial to every term in the second polynomial, no matter how many terms there are. When you have binomials, it's the first, then the outer, then the inner, and then the last, and that's where FOIL comes from. But as long as you remember to distribute to every term, every term to every term, then it's going to be pretty easy. Again, you got to watch your signs. We're going to have to combine like terms at the end, but x times x is x squared. X times 7 is positive 7x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then finally minus 21. And we do have these two terms that are like terms, so you're not done because you are trying to simplify. You're not done until you combine those. So your final answer would be x squared plus 4x minus 21. I'm going to run through a couple more examples of multiplying binomials. Again, this is referred to as the FOIL method. Just make sure you're distributing every term to every term. If you like drawing the arrows to remind yourself what you're doing, that's a good idea. But x times 2x is 2x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 2 times 2x is 4x. And 2 times 3 is 6. Make sure you finish the problem by combining the like terms. And so our final answer here would be 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. Same idea down on this second example. Please watch your signs. It's an easy way to make a mistake. Pay attention to the exponents. 3x squared times 4x is 12x cubed. 3x squared times negative 1 is negative 3x squared. Negative 8 times 4x is negative 32x. And negative 8 times 1 is positive 8. You should always check to see if there are any like terms to combine. And on this problem, there is none. So we're done. For these next two examples, I've picked a couple that give people trouble because they get carried away and they work too fast and get their exponent rules confused. once you have a plus or minus in between inside the parentheses, you're no longer distributing this exponent as you would if it was just a single term in here. Remember what exponents mean. They mean to multiply the base by itself however many times it is. So if you write it out, you're going to realize what you need to do. The base in this case is x plus 4, and we're going to multiply the base times itself twice because we're squaring. So now you should recognize it as a FOIL problem, and we're going to distribute through with all the terms. So x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x, 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 4 is 16. Again, make sure you finish the problem by combining any like terms. So our final answer will be x squared plus 8x plus 16. And now I'm just going to reinforce that idea. Again, you're multiplying the base by itself twice. So that's going to give us 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2. And we're going to FOIL. 3x times 3x is 9x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 4. Combine like terms for 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. For this example, you still want to think similarly to foiling. But again, FOIL stands for an acronym, or is an acronym for first, outer, inner, last, and we have more terms now, and so it really doesn't, exactly mean the same thing. But you still want to take your, however many terms are in the first polynomial and to distribute it to every term in the second polynomial. So I'm going to draw the arrows again. And we're just going to work through it and combine like terms. So 2x times 3x squared is 6x cubed. 2x times 4x is 8x squared. And then finally negative 20x. All right, now we're done with the first term. We're going to move on to the second term, the negative 1. Then we're going to get negative 3x squared minus 4x plus 10. And we're going to look through to see if there's any like terms. And we do have a couple different ones. And so our final answer will be 6x cubed plus 5x squared minus 24x plus 10. So for the final example, I'm going to just pick this binomial, and we're going to raise it to the third power. Make sure that you remember what you're doing, right? We're multiplying this base by itself 3 times. So if you write it out, it'll make sense to you, and you'll remember what to do. Now we're going to have to FOIL a couple different times here, and it doesn't make any difference where you start. I like to start in the back two, and I'm just going to rewrite this first one down so we don't forget about it. Okay, and so then I'm going to FOIL with the back 2 and get 4x squared minus 10x plus 25. I'm going to combine the like terms that I can to save myself a step and get 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. And now I'm going to distribute all the terms again here. And get 8x cubed minus 40x squared plus 50x minus 20x squared plus 100x minus 125. And now I'm just going to combine any like terms We have a couple throughout this problem. And for the final answer, you get 8x cubed minus 60x squared plus 150x minus 125.